Good luck.
Thank you. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Formula Trout. This is the Master Split. You've just seen the Challenger, or at least you would have been if you'd been on this YouTube channel. And now we're into the big guns, the fast, the furious, and the ferocious. Andreas Schilder, pole sitter of the last race at Bahrain, is going to be the first driver to start a flying lap at this rate. And of course, if you remember back to 2 weeks ago, he was by far the fastest driver. Qualified on pole by 0.3 of a second and looked as if he was going to dominate the race, but then went off at the first corner, and from then it was downhill and he ended up DNFing from the race entirely. I'm joined here in the commentary box today by Ross Ross McIntyre. Sorry, I always forget your surname. Hello Ross, how are you?
I'm not bad, thanks, Caitlin. Yeah, it's a tricky turn, and I will give you that. It is a tough one, but yeah, I'm good, thank you. Just come off a very exciting race in the Challenger Split, hoping for some more action today in the Master Split. So let's hope it's a good one today.
Indeedy. Right, so Andreas Schilder on a hot lap. We've just seen him going up through turns 1, 2 and 3. Technically turn 3 anyway. The track map tends to count corners that I wouldn't really count, at least for Grand Prix racing cars. Down through the Schlossgold, very interesting, difficult to pronounce corner. And then the middle sector of the course. It's a very short track. We're almost done already. So Andreas Schilder will be able to put in his lap time almost immediately. We're looking at, well, the pole time in the Challenger Split, I believe, was a 104 point, well, something low, 104.2 or something like that. Schilder out of the final corner. Will he get into the 103s? I think if he doesn't now, then he will later on. Across the line, and now his time starts, actually. So even though I believe he was on a flying lap that last time around, hasn't counted for some reason. But anyway, going around again, and Andreas Schilder leading his teammate up the hill. That will be Christoph Berzer in the other, whoopsie daisy, and that's a slide for the Griffin Gaming car of Andreas Schilder, and that lap will be down the drain slightly. So let's watch Christoph Berzer as he attempts to pick up where his teammate left off for us.
Yeah, let's see what he's able to do. Obviously, same format as the Challenger Split earlier. 50 minutes here in qualifying, and it's whoever sets the best lap gets the pole position, obviously, to decide where you start the race. Now, it was obviously the Master Split is going to be significantly quicker than the Challenger Split, such as the case. These are the top drivers in Formula Trout. This is the top level of the ladder in Assetto Corsa single-seater racing. However, the question is, how much faster are they going to be able to go? Last time out of the Bahrain, the pole sitter was about 1.5 seconds up on the Challenger Split time. So it's going to be interesting to see how much quicker they are today. It's they're already about 0.5 seconds up. Is Williams at the moment, but obviously the track's still going to get faster as the session goes on. So we'll just have to see what the case is. Yeah, interesting to be able to see what the time's going to be like, and it's going to be a similar event of affairs, I think, as the Challenger Split, just managing the tyres across the race as we head into that. And the strategy is going to be key. Strategy really did come into play in the Challenger Split. We saw Van Dijk in the Challenger Split pulling a rather risky strategy, going from the mediums onto the softs, and it paid off really well for him with a daring last lap overtake into P2. It was a very phenomenal move, must be said. So strategy is going to be key here. Not only do you need to have the pace, you need to keep it on the road, obviously, and you need to think smart. That's how you get around the Red Bull Ring. But as I said, Williams currently on the pole, provisional pole anyway, with 1:04.284. Maximilian Younger behind him, only a 10th off, and Dave Brave currently in P3, 2/10 off.
Connor Peltman has just managed to crash into the pit lane. Anyway, it's Max Younger who sets the provisional time, the benchmark, 104.405, as you said. He's currently in the pits. Someone who isn't in the pits is Andreas Schilder. He's going for another flying lap, just crossed the start-finish line to start the timer ticking. Ran slightly over the curbs on the outside, or over the white line rather. Not sure entirely how strict the stewards are going to be about that, but we shall see. Max Hammerlink now to the top, 104.018, and he is followed closely by Oscar Williams. So 1, 2, 3. Not particularly close right now, considering how short the track is, and not as quick as I'd be expecting either. So I think the times are still going to come down towards the end of the session. We're not even 5 minutes of the way through yet, so give them time, and they shall deliver. Car running slightly wide off the road on the outside. Tim Omlu now up to third, not bad at all, only 0.02 of a second off Oscar Williams, and Schilder only has right-handers to go now. That is Rindt and Lauder, and he comes into the pits. Okay, well that's unexpected, because he appeared to be on a flying lap, so he won't be going any quicker here. Let's watch Christoph Turner. He has not set a... oh well, now he set a time. That's 10th place for him. And Oscar Williams goes to the top, the first car under 1 minute 04. It's a 103.735. Now, in talking to Ross before the session, I was saying, I wonder how many years it's going to be before Formula One cars can do this track in under a minute. It may actually be possible with the absolute best conditions and the absolute best possible driver or AI or whatever to do it in under a minute now. I'm not entirely sure whether that's realistic or not, but surely it's not going to be too long. The 2022 regulations are probably going to slow the cars down a bit, but you know, that happens every now and again in Formula One, and then in a few years' time they get faster again. So we'll see. Oh, Turner making a bit of a mistake coming into the pit lane. So let's take a look at... no, never mind. Oscar Williams also coming into the pits, and Alex Cochran is going to be the next car to cross the start-finish line. He appears to be on an outlap, unless that timer is wrong, as it's shown to be previously in the session. Yes, indeed, he starts what will be his first proper flying lap. Alex Cochran very, very quick. Maxi Younger now up to third in the session. And since we're not yet into the properly competitive part of the qualifying session, I'll take this opportunity to give you a bit of a review of the last race at Bahrain. Remember, it was Max Hammerlink who took the victory there, the driver currently second in the times. Paul Magza and Irmas Rees for the CRG racing cars were second and third, and therefore are now second and third in the championship as well. And then Oscar Williams and Maxi Younger also bagged heavy points from that. And in terms of the teams championship, Vermin Racing have just edged out CRG Racing after the first round, 37 points to 34, with Younger GP quite a way behind. Actually, it's very much Vermin and CRG battling it out for the top of the order so far, but that is only after one round of the championship, so still plenty of changes to come and plenty of rounds to go. Russ, what do you think is going to be, or who do you think is going to be the cars to look forward to, or the drivers to look forward to in terms of steps forwards for this race?
Well, I mean, just looking at it as it stands, obviously Oscar Williams currently on provisional pole, but Schilder and Hammerlink behind as well, very close, as is Younger. Those top four going to be very exciting to watch throughout. Just looking down the grid as well, Dave Brave is a driver who I've always got my eye on. He's got a phenomenal name, it must be said.
Totally.
He's also a driver to watch. Toby Sanford as well is making his debut today in his second ever race in the Formula Trout Series, and he's already found himself a master split drive with Octan. So he'll be one to watch out for in his debut in the Master Split. And yeah, I think those top four, Tim Omlu stepped a fantastic time, so we'll make that the top five now. So Omlu, Williams, Schilder, Hammerlink, Younger. I think those are going to be the drivers to keep an eye out for today. But as I saw in the Challenger Split earlier, it's all going to be about the strategy in the race. Yes, the fastest driver did win by country mile, but Van Dijk put in an absolute phenomenal performance, going from the mediums onto the softs, taking a huge gamble and just charging his way up to second place. It was a great viewing experience in the commentary booth. And if anybody can pull something off like that today, it'll be very interesting to watch.
And Oscar Williams goes to the top of the times, 103.559, beating out Tim Omlou's 103.646. We're already 7 or 8 tenths faster than they were in the Challenger split. And we're showing no signs of slowing down. There's still over 7 minutes left in the session. And as a result, we are going to see some pretty quick lap times towards the end. We also just saw a bit of an accident for Urmas Rees. He's one of the drivers who I'm personally looking out for in this race. Of course, he led for quite a way last time out. Led off the start with a phenomenal get-go. But anyway, he's currently down in 9th position. Did manage to return to the pits. Oh, as Dave Halligan goes 3rd. Yeah, did manage to return to the pits, but yeah, that's going to cost him at least one flying lap that he may have been able to set otherwise. And a great lap from Dave Brave. I'm not sure he was expecting to be in the top 10 in qualifying today, but look at that, 104.051 puts him 7th. Up to 9th goes Connor Pelkmans, not bad at all from him. And yeah, we now have still over 6.5 minutes to go, so still plenty could change in this. Here's Andreas Schilder on another oh, and Hammerlink goes to the top, 103.372. What can Schilder do about that, Russ?
Well, the track is still evolving here. Obviously, still 6 minutes to go left in this qualifying session. So we'll be seeing those times tumble. At this stage, it's all about where you are on track and how the track is doing. I believe at the moment we'll still be able to topple that. There's only 2 tenths really separating them. The track is just getting quicker and quicker. Already into the 103s. Phenomenal stuff here from the Master Split guys. They really are some of the fastest Assetto Corsa drivers in the world. And they're doing Carolin's done a great lap there. But as I've said, it's all about at this point where you're on track at what point. Whoever's going to be the last man to set a lap in this qualifying session is going to have the best chance to be on pole, because that's when the track is at maximum grip. And just to say that, Schilder goes on to provisional pole with a 103.264.
Fantastic. Andreas Schilder, we watched the lap pretty much from the start, and that's how you do it. That's how you complete this Red Bull Ring circuit in the hills of Austria. Oh, big slide. Urmas Rees now up to 5th, but he's been beaten as Jordi Lauwes is up to 2nd place. That is very quick for Jordi there. He is less than 1/10 of a second off Andreas Schilder, and that shows that he may still be a contender for pole position here. That is how you do it. Dave Southwood off the road there, just getting out of the way of his teammate Turner, although I think Turner was a little hampered by that. Oh my goodness, and Tim Omloo goes over 1/10 of a second faster than Schilder. My goodness. So Tim Omloo, who finished only 7th last time out, is at the top of the times here at the Red Bull Ring. The times do continue to come down. Now, there isn't so much for real road on this on Assetto Corsa than there is on other sims. You don't get the kind of build up of rubber that you do in, say, R-Factor 2 or whatever, but you do still tend to see times coming down towards the end of the session, just because of the mental state of the drivers and the practice they've had, and other factors as well. But yeah, Tim Omloo there, very quick, and much quicker than we've seen him at any other point in this championship so far. Max Hammerlink is about to start another lap of his own. This is the driver who won last time out in one of the Vermin Racing Team cars. That is Vermin Racing Team being Max Hammerlink and Oscar Williams, the team's championship leaders after the first round. And Hammerlink heads up the hill and towards, is that Rauch or Remus? I always get them the wrong way round. It's one of the R corners, which is technically turn 3. The slight.
I have no idea. I just first them as turn number.
Fair enough. The left-hand turn, or the left-hand kink before turn 3, is classified as a corner, and is very much a corner on motorbikes. My motorbike-loving friend informs me, but when you get to cars, you barely feel it. Max Hammerlink a tenth of a second down on Omlu. That would still put him about a tenth of a second up on his own personal lap. So this could still be, I'm not sure if it's going to be challenging Schilder, but this could still put him P3. Never mind, he's in the pits, so Hammerlink decides to abort this run, and he's going to go for one more flyer if he can exit the pits and have enough time to spare. Jordi Lauis appears to be down as he comes through the final corner in the Nova Finlandia car, and as he crosses the line, he sets a... yes, in fact that was an outlap, my apologies. So Lauer starts another one. Christoph Berzer up to P5. So we now have both of the Griffin racing cars in the top 5 now. This very much proving to be a teams championship battle as well. You've got Vermin, you've got CRG, Younger, and now Griffin Racing as well, all with very competitive drivers, all battling it out up the front. And I honestly don't know which way this team's championship is going to swing, but still plenty of rounds left before we have to start worrying about that too much. Jordi Lauis down again in the second sector, not that far down though. Maybe could challenge Schilder still through the final couple of corners of this lap. Final turn. There's a Vermin racing car coming up. May have cost him a bit of time through the final corner, but he goes second. So Jordi Lauis, less than half a tenth of a second of Tim Omlu, 103.181. That's a very quick lap, and he is P2 as we get into the very late stages in this qualifying session. The timer is almost at 0. And still we have maybe 5 or probably 4 cars now that can set times, unless Christoph Berzer can get around and start another lap time. Time's competitive for pole position. So who's it going to be? Omlu, Lauer, Schilder, Hamlink, Berzer, or someone completely different, Russ?
Honestly, at this stage, no idea. 55 seconds to go. It is so tight at the top of the time sheets. Omlu still on provisional pole as it stands. He's on his final lap now. I'm following around on my screen. Lovis is, he's only 0.04 of a second off. Schilder as well, only a 10th. Hammerlink as well, there or thereabouts. Williams goes 5th overall. He'll got time for another lap as well. The track is just evolving at an abnormal rate here.
Hammerlink's crashed and Lauis is in the pit, so that leaves just Omlu and Schilder and potentially Williams as well. Schilder's just started a new lap. That's a big shame for Hammerlink. I think he was going up on that lap until that happened. But yeah, so it's Omlu, Schilder, Williams, and Berzer as well competing for this pole position. And is that a slide for Schilder? Omlu. Yes, it is. Oh my goodness, that's going to cost him the lap. Surely.
Omlu coming in
that
as well.
was 2.
Omlu's coming in.
And Omlu is coming in, so what can his... I think he may have pole position now, because Williams and Berzer, while they are very quick, they're a little way off, couple of tenths of a second. So Omlu looking comfortable. Schilder is still on a lap, but I'm pretty sure that he would have lost it with that mistake at Remus, and that is indeed Remus. I just double checked. Williams into the pits. Let's see what Christoph Berzer can do as he's heading into the Slush Gold and out towards Rauch. Rauch being turn 4, and then the Wirth curve is turn 5. Great to have a circuit with actual corner names rather than just 1, 2, 3, 4, etc, etc. Out towards Rindt and the Red Bull curve, which has been since renamed to the Lauda curve. Dave Southwood goes to 8th. Let's see what Berzer does. Southwood immediately jumped by Younger. He goes 8th. And 3rd for Berzer, not bad at all. In fact, he was pretty close to that pole position there, less than a tenth of a second off. But it is P3 at the end of the day, and I believe that is our qualifying session over, because everyone else is either stopped or in the pit. So that looks to be it. It's Tim Omlu on pole position, only just out of Jordi Lauis and Christoph Berzer. Less than a tenth of a second between the top 3. That's the beauty of having a track as short as this one, and traffic's going to come into to play later run as well. Andreas Schilder only 4th, despite taking a convincing pole position last time out. Then it's Max Hammerlink, despite winning the last race, he is only 5th. Oscar Williams is 6th, Alex Cochran 7th, Maxi Younger, Dave Southwood and Columba Griffiths round out the top 10. Then it is David Halligan, Toby Sandford, or Sanford rather, there's no D, Ermas Rees, Dave Brave, Connor Peltmans, Christoph Turner, Paul Magzar, Mixo Mortiferum, Simon Benoit, Cyprian Stoyan, David Bull, Joseph Coate, Carlos Skermelas, and then not setting a lap, well, never mind, I was just about to say your name, but you are indeed a commentator. So 23 cars set lap times in that session, the top 18 separated by a second, the top 3 separated by a tenth of a second. This is going to be a very, very close one, Russ.
Well, it is indeed, 5/10 of a second. That is the blink of an eye separating over the top 10. That is ridiculously close. And, well, we've just got the race to do now. Obviously, it's one thing to be quick in qualifying, but it's another thing to be quick in the race. 47 laps here at the Red Bull Ring, and I'm sure it's going to be an absolute cracker. And, by the way, Kaelin, even if I was in one of these Formula Hypercars, I'm sure I'd be at the back of the grid anyway. My pace compared to these guys is, it's slow, shall we say.
I've never been the best in a modern single-seater either, but anyway. I have no idea who I would be predicting for this this race victory. I think, Tim Omlu and Jordi Lauwys, obviously very, very quick, very close. Christoph Berzer, I'm actually going to say Christoph Berzer is my prediction for the win. He's always been very, very good. And out-qualified his teammates, Andreas Schilder, but realistically, either of those could win it either. Any of the top 6 are very, very realistic calls for the victory, and, I wouldn't be entirely shocked to see someone from outside of the top 6 giving it a good go either. Alex Cochran, Max Younger, all right up there. Columba Griffiths, that's a name that I don't recognise actually, but she is, well, anyway, we'll see what she does. She's in the top 10. I'm wondering whether that's Columba Crucifier. I haven't heard of any changes.
It will be Columba Crucifier, yes. I've raced in a league with them before. They have a different assessment course name for some reason, but yes, that is Columba Crucifier there.
Okay, yeah, sorry, that threw me off a little, but yeah, anyway, so Columba starting from P10. And we see the lights. When the 6 lights go out, we will be underway here at the Red Bull Ring. For 47 laps, there was a slight jump start at the front. Didn't see who that was. But now we get going. So the race begins. And down towards turn 1. Ross, if you could get your car off the grid, please. Omlu through turn 1, leading from Jordi Lauwys. So no change up front. Behind the 2 Griffiths racing cars. And look at the vermin all over the grass. Goodness me. And an amazing start there for one of the... never mind. Okay, so into turn 3. Schilder on the inside, round the outside comes Max Hammerlink. He is up to 3rd place, so passing both of the Griffin racing cars. Little bit of an incident at the back. Dave Brave has spun it around. There we go. He's facing the wrong way at turn 3. Everyone else appears to be relatively clean. Omlu almost to 2nd ahead of Lauwys already. That is a very good start. Younger ahead of Cochran for P7. And then the rest of the field streaming through. 2 weeks ago, Ermas Rees was leading the race. Now I'm afraid he's only at P10, so not a great start for him. Through the final 2 corners of the first lap, and that was an amazing first lap for Tim Omlu, as he's now leading by an entire second. That is how you do it. Lauwys fighting with Schilder for 2nd position, and then the 2 Vermin racing cars following through in 4th and 5th place. Up the hill, and Pelkmans and Magzar are in the pits after the first lap, so potential incidents for those 2. And Schilder up the inside of Lauwys, and he backs out of it, but there's a lock up for Lauwys, who twitches, and on the exit Hammerlink gets a good run on Schilder. This is going to be close for 3rd place, heading down towards turn 4. Magzar is our first DNF from the race, but look at Hammerlink. He's still there, and Schilder holds it on the outside. There's a lot of grip out there. You can hold it. It's a wide corner, and the order is still Omlu, Lauwys, Schilder, Hammerlink, Williams, Berzer, Younger, Cochran, Halligan and Rees, the top 10, but a whole chain following behind that. Everyone down to P13, right together. as they stream through towards the end of the second lap of racing. And Omlu already leads by... Whoa! And off goes... my goodness, Lawais has crashed it. Lawais has hit the wall. He's bounced out. And oh my goodness. Oh, and I was about to say he'd be lucky if everyone avoided him. And I believe that was Urmas Reese who made contact with him. Urmas appears to have got away with it okay. Although may have damage. That was a pretty sizable hit. Lawais losing it immediately. He's got bad damage. And probably will be out of the race. And that's a big shame for him, considering his amazing qualifying performance. He's dropped to 19th position. Rust, what do you make of that?
Oh, just really unlucky there. Just tried to come back onto the circuit and got clipped. Did Lewis? Oh, it's just, you know, that. Oh, when he spun again, the tyres absolutely cooked. He's gonna have to limp his way back to the pit.
No, Reese is out.
There you go.
So Reese, who he hit.
Well.
Yeah, so it was Reese who collected him, and Reese is now out of the race. So obviously he had damage, and I'm afraid it's taken 2 cars out. So that is a huge, huge shame. And drama in the opening stages. We've lost some other cars as well. Well, Peltmans has been into the pits twice, and is that... What tyres are those? Blue tyres. I don't recognise them. But anyway.
The hardest compound, I believe. They're the C1s.
Well, so he'll be running to the very end of the race then. But yeah, that's a little bizarre. Never seen those blue tyres before. The end of the third lap, Omlu leading from Schilder, although Schilder sets the fastest lap of the race. The gap 1.6 seconds. Let's see if Schilder can close that gap. He's bringing both Vermins with him. They both have DRS, which is now available to every driver within a second of the car ahead through the DRS activation zones. Burz's lost time. He's down to 2 seconds behind Williams. So it's definitely the top 4 who are now in the race for the lead. And Burz has been passed by Younger. Look at that. So Younger, well, he was temporarily passed by Younger, but Maxi ran wide, and Burza has held that position. Alex Cochran and Dave Halligan are right there with them. So the Nova Finlandia car, and then Halligan chasing down and attacking Younger and Burza, who would have lost time by attacking each other there. Let's see what the lap times are like this time around. Schilder again, well, he was fastest, but immediately beaten by Max Hammerlink. So Hammerlink flying with the DRS, cuts the exit of turn 1 there slightly, but anyway, Omri, Schilder, Hammerlink, and Max flying, bringing his teammate with him. Maybe they will work together if Hammerlink can force Schilder offline, and then Williams can follow him through. They can get both Vermin racing cars through at the same time for the price of one, but it's difficult to make that work. We'll see how they do it. Cyprian Stoyan has passed Carlos Scomanis for P13 as we're speaking. And once again, Younger and Burza go at it down into the Schlossgold. This time it was Younger on the outside, and he's made it stick. That was a good move, learning from what happened a lap before, and realising that there's grip out there, he makes it stick.
Yep, great stuff there from Hammerlink. He's driving a pretty good race so far. Obviously only 5 laps in, still plenty of action to go, but up to P3, it's a good start.
Hammerlink still P3, but this time around he was, well, it was Williams who was fastest, and fastest of anyone. So Williams purple and fastest lap, but still Schilder, Hammerlink and Williams, a DRS train, and they are still catching Omlu. Their laps are not hugely faster than Omlu's, but they are steadily faster than Omlu's, and that's what matters, because before long Schilder will be within DRS range of Omlu's if they continue like this. Cochran is up to 6th. He's past Burza, so there we go. Burza losing time, but he has the DRS, and he will be coming back at Cochran on the exit of Remus to the outside. We know there's grip out there, we know there's room, and there we go. Look at that. It seems the outside line is faster than the tight inside when you're going side by side with someone. He's still on the inside there, and Cochran manages to keep the position. Christoph Turner, I'm afraid, is out of the race as well, so he becomes another retirement. We've had a few in the early stages, but yeah, great fight here between Cochran and Burza, and a good attacking and then defensive drive from Christoph Berzer. Schilder's last lap a lot faster than Omlu's. That was very good from Schilder. We now have 4 for the lead. It's Omlu, Schilder, Hammerlink and Williams. And Berzer's made a mistake because look at that. He's just been passed by 3 different cars. Halligan's through, so is Sanford and Southwood. So Berzer losing time. He's under attack from Griffiths as well. And I think he's going to be passed by Griffiths heading up to Remus. Look at this. Griffiths to the outside and is going to go through, but and she does. Look at that. Easy peasy. So Christoph Berzer dropping back, but up the front we have a 4-way battle for the lead, Russ.
We do indeed. This is super close here. It just shows how tight it is at the top of this master split. These drivers are the best of the best in Assetto Corsa single-seater racing, and at the top it is so close. There is barely 2 seconds covering the top 4. They are neck and neck, and you know they are just absolutely going for it. Omlu is not holding back with either Schilder, Hamlick or Williams. They are absolutely flying, and then further down the order as well, Younger, Cochran, Halligan and Sanford, they're all flying as well. It's just super tight, Caitlin.
Personal best laps from both Omlu and Schilder. They are both absolutely pushing, and the Vermin racing cars not letting them get away still, so they're still flying, all of them absolutely flying. They're in the 105s lap after lap. That's almost qualifying pace that we're seeing from these drivers in the early stages on their super soft tyres, we'll call them. Well, soft tyres technically, but anyway, the fastest compound available through the Schlossgold, and towards Rauch they head. Omlu, Schilder, Hammerlink and Williams. Williams is the closest to the car in front out of all of them, although of course those two are teammates, so they won't be attacking each other too much right now. They're just trying to get onto the, or trying to keep up with the cars ahead to benefit if something happens. Realistically for now it's between Omlu, Schilder and Hammerlink, with Williams waiting to benefit from his teammates' actions. Across the start-finish line they go again. Again it's a personal best from Tim Omlu. Schilder still slightly faster, but the fastest of all of them was Oscar Williams that time around. Cochran and Halligan also close to Younger, so there's a chain going on for P5, 6 and 7, with Cochran setting his personal best of the race so far. We're almost 10 laps through already. This is, well, it just shows how short of a circuit it is, but yeah, this race absolutely flying past, and what a battle it is, as Schilder now within 0.3 of a second, getting so close to the back of Omlu down into the Schlossgold. Almost was surprised by the braking distance of Omlu's car there, and needs to recuperate for the rest of the lap. A couple of changes. Sanford has been passed by Southwood, and Griffiths now has got past Joseph Coate as well. So some changes going on down in the bottom part of the top 10. Let's look back to the leaders to see if anything changes as they cross the start-finish line. Schilder running rather wide, and I believe Omlu's lap was actually faster than Schilder's for the first time in many laps. Fastest lap of anyone for Max Hammerlink. He is right on the back of Andreas Schilder, and up the hill. This is going to be an opportunity potentially. I think he's a little too far back. He's over 0.3 of a second back, but he's closer than he has been for the and a lock up from Schilder. Looked as if it came off the front right tyre, but he'll recuperate with the DRS. Hammerlink also has the DRS. This here, the best overtaking opportunity of the circuit. This last gold turn, but still, it's about 0.4 of a second between each of them representatively. This is phenomenal, Russ.
It is super close still, 10 laps in, we've got 0.5, 0.4. It is so tight up the top of this field, all 4 cars within 1 camera shot. This is phenomenal stuff here, and no one appears to have the pace of much of a moment. 1 minute's Hamlet said the fast lag. In a minute we'll probably see Tim Omlu, then Schilder, then Williams. All of them at the moment are absolutely flying. You can see here Williams has a run on Hammerlink, just as I mentioned that. Does he have a look? No, he doesn't, but let's stay with them as they come up on the run to T2. It's not a great exit from Williams, and he's going to drop back from that corner. He's going to have to be very ballsy on the brakes into T2, and he's not going to be able to do it. this time around, but 5 tenths separating them now. This is superb stuff from all 4 drivers involved here.
Motiv from Skomanis and Stoyan have also been scrapping for 13th, 14th and 15th, and Skomanis pits, so boxes out of that battle. And as we said, strategy will become a big part of the race later on, so we'll have to keep an eye on who's pitting and when. As for the lead battle, the pit stops may well scupper it for the time being when they happen, but they will also change positions almost undoubtedly, and play a big part in who out of these 4 drivers comes out on top. No one pitting just yet. I'm not entirely sure when we're expecting the first pit stop. I'm not sure if you have any better ideas on that, Ross. But anyway, just to show how fast these drivers are going, they're almost 10 seconds ahead of the driver in 5th place. Schilder there running wide over the curbs. That's going to give Hammerlink a go. In fact, Hammerlink is really close to Schilder here. Surely he's going to go for it to the outside. And as they brake, Schilder has the inside line. That's where you want to be up into to that corner, but Hammerlink's going to get a great run, and Schilder slides. Schilder twitches on the acceleration. Hammerlink has the DRS, but so does Schilder. Now we know the outside line here is viable, so it looks as if Hammerlink, oh well, he's not going to go. Oh well, he might still go around the outside of Schilder. He does not. Going to try it again into Remus, or Rauk rather. And somehow there's no change. Now that's going to give Omlu a little bit of breathing space. Crucially, he doesn't break the DRS. Actually, he might. Look at this. Let's see if Schilder still has the DRS or not, heading onto the start-finish straight. If he doesn't, surely he's going to be a sitting duck as Hammerlink comes flying through. Schilder does not have the DRS. Look at that. Oh, wait. Well, he opened it to... No, he didn't have it open. Sorry. So Hammerlink with the run... And he's going to have it again. Oh, he loses it! Oh. Hammerlink's going to crash! Hammerlink has crashed into the barriers! So Williams goes up to 3rd. Hammerlink's going to have some damage, I think. Well, his steering looks okay. But anyway, Hammerlink has hit the wall. And that means it's now a 3-way battle for the lead rather than a 4-way battle for the lead. And that's a big shame, because I reckon that Hammerlink would have been 2nd by the time I say this.
Yep, that's a disaster for Hammerlink there, just getting a bit too greedy on the throttle pedal on the exit of the first turn. These cars nearly pushing out 1,000 horsepower when the hybrid kicks in. They've got so much torque, it's just so easy to lose the rear end. Just running out of road, running out of traction, finding himself in the barrier. Hopefully not too much damage from Max. If he's able to stay out, then I'm sure he will. He's still got the pace, still in 4th place, so it's not the end of the world. But as he's running wide a bit there, I'm sure Lillard's cooked his tyres and perhaps got a little bit of damage. We'll have to see if he comes into the pits at the end of this lap. He's got 1 corner to decide if he is, and let's see if he does. And yes, he is coming into the pits this lap.
Well, the first hit was on his front wing, but the second hit is the one that worries me. That was right on his rear tyre. And if there's one place where you don't want damage, it's your rear tyre. Alex Cochran also into the pits this time around. Let's see what tyres Hammerlink and Cochran go on to, as this may be an indication of what strategy will hold for us on this race. Now, that's the hardest set of compound we're likely to see from the lead runners, the white-walled tyre. Cochran also on the white wall tyre. What about Columba Griffiths? This will probably also be a white wall. No, yellow wall. Okay, so that's the middle tyre of the 3 that we're likely to see a lot of. So out they go. Slightly different strategies for that bunch of cars. But yeah, Hammerlink, not sure if he intended to pit this lap anyway. Probably wouldn't have been too long until he come into the pits. But he would have ruined his tyres with that spin, and that would have been a little bit impromptu. But anyway, the end of another lap. Still Schilder not in the DRS range of Omlu, and Omlu a lot faster than Schilder on that last lap. Goodness me. So Schilder, without that DRS, is now starting to struggle a little, and he's feeling the pressure of Oscar Williams. Now, this is the first time that Williams has had a sniff at Schilder's car in this race. We haven't seen what they're going to battle like yet, but Williams will know that he has to make an impression now. Sanford has just passed Southwood for 6th place. Let's take a look at that scrap quickly. Southwood not able to come back at him up into Remus. But yeah, there's been a change between the two of them. And Southwood, well, he'll now get the DRS down towards turn 4. Behind him he's got 2 teammates. But yeah, Southwood settling for P7 for the time being. Back to Omlu, Schilder, Williams. Omlu still not allowing Schilder to open that rear wing flap. Williams has it wide open though. Right, on the exit turn 1, what can he do here? Russ, talk us through it.
Well, Williams is currently in P3. He's not got DRS up the straight because there is no DRS up the straight. But if he gets a good exit out of turn 2, it's very likely that he can get a move done into T3. Let's see what he got. There is DRS down this backstretch. So let's see what happens. DRS wide open. 410 separating the pair. Let's see what he can do. Coming into T3. Will he look to the inside? No, he does not. Decides to continue following Shield around for the time being. Obviously, there's a... You've got to be smart about when you time your overtaking moves in this series. Obviously, the more time you spend fighting, the less time you spend chasing the car in front. And obviously, with that mistake early on from Schilder, in which all 3 cars fell about a second back from Omlu, I think right now...
Omlu's pitting, I think. Omlu coming in.
Omlu pitting. Yes, Omlu is coming in there. So now, I was just about to say that they were trying... that I think Williams was waiting for them to catch up to Omlu before he made the move to avoid losing time fighting. But now, he can go all he likes. It's just Schilder ahead. Schilder is now in the lead of this race. Williams set fast time. Schilder runs wide. Schilder runs wide. This is going to be the chance for Williams in the slipstream up into turn 2. Let's see what he can do in the slipstream. Schilder hugging that inside. Williams is going to have to go around the outside late on the brakes. Will he be able to get the switchback done? Let's have a look on the exit of turn 2. No, can't quite get it. Oh, and he's with a bit of a twitch on the throttle there. Let's see if he can get on the DRS. Breaks down into T3. No, again, he's not going to quite go for it. That was a big opportunity from there, but he's being smart. He's biding his time. We'll just have to see what he can do as this race goes on. Lap 17 of 47 here at the Red Bull Ring.
Omlu is on the white-walled, harder compound of tyre, so Omlu comes out P7 just ahead of Coat and Hammerlink there. Hammerlink a little way back. Now that car, there's a car actually between Coat and Hammerlink. That's a lapped vehicle. Coat, well actually, no, that's the lap vehicle trying to go around the... And William, oh wait, Schilder's in the pits, sorry, Schilder in the pits. So Schilder is the second of the lead battle, unless you count Hammerlink to come in. Let's see if he goes onto the same set of tyres as Omlu. Now this is going to give Williams a chance to push, see what he can do with that clean air. It's the first time in this race that he hasn't had a car directly in front of him. Schilder goes white-walled, so Schilder exiting the pits. Now where is he going to come out in relation to Omlu? Has Omlu been held up by that attacking lapped vehicle? Schilder's ahead of Omlu, look at that! Schilder has jumped Tim Omlu by pitting a lap later, and Omlu will be a little angry at that car that tried to overtake him despite being a lap down. I'll try to take a look. It was Dave Brave who was the car I was talking about, I believe. But yes, Schilder has jumped Omlu, and that could be for the lead of this race, depending on what happens to Williams when he pits. Williams could jump both of them. We'll see. It depends on whether the overcut is as viable as the undercut here today. But yeah, Williams in the pits now. So let's see. This is probably the most important moment of the race. Does he too jump Omlu? What about Schilder? Where's he going to come out? He was right with Schilder before this all happened. Update on Christoph Berzer as well. We saw him dropping down the order. He is now out of the race. So in true typical commentary style, my pick for the win is out. Now Williams exits the pits on the white-walled tyres. Where are Schilder and Omlu? Schilder is on the outside. Schilder's going to take him, is he? It's going to be close. Williams leads the race. Oscar Williams leads the race. Well, he leads the race effectively anyway. Maxi Younger leads it on the road, but it looks as if the overcut is effective here. Williams has jumped both of them. They all have traffic. Dave Southwood on old tyres is directly ahead of them, and he is fighting with Sanford. So this could still shake up the race, but it's Williams, Schilder, followed by Omlu. The three of them have completely turned on their head, Russ.
Indeed, Sanford now has not boxed yet, so he's going to do a fantastic job and holding all of them up and closing that gap even further. So this is an absolute disaster for the guys behind. Sanford in his debut race doing phenomenally well. He hasn't boxed, but still P3. Great stuff from him so far. And I think the drivers behind him are just going to be wishing the quicker he gets into the pits, the better. He's driven really well defensively so far. I've been watching the battle between himself and Southern behind. And just as Williams goes round Southern there to the inside into turn 1, and Sanford will not be wanting to let Williams through at all, I don't think. And he's going to, not only is he going to hold them up, it's going to kill their tyres as well. In the dirty air, they're going to have to use more of the tyre, and that's going to really affect it later on into the race when they need that extra tyre, perhaps if they're still together in the last few laps and they need to push to try and get everything out of the car, and they're not going to be able to have that because they've been caught behind Sanford in the dirty air, behind Southern as well. We just need to watch what's going to happen. Sanford up into P2 now. There's been another box, I believe. Halligan leads the race as it stands. Both these drivers still need to come in, though, so we'll just have to see what strategy they're on. They're obviously trying to run a shorter second stint. It could be a bit of a gamble, but we'll just have to see how it works with these two.
Younger pitted, he's on the yellow walled tyres, so he came in for the lead. Halligan now leads the race, but he is still yet to stop. Now, when Williams went past Southwood, that was a critical moment for Andreas Schilder, because if he'd allowed him to hold him up and split the two of them, Williams could have got away. He didn't. He went through at the very next turn. Halligan now into the pits. Sanford leads the race. Williams is about to take the lead, it appears. Halligan, it stops in his box safely. And Williams and Schilder right together on the tail of Toby Sanford. This is for the lead. Oscar Williams to the outside. And Schilder and Reese goes through on the inside. Look at that. He took a look and a spin for Sanford. And they both avoid him. So Sanford locked up the tyres and around he went. And he's facing backwards. So Sanford spins out of the temporary lead. It's now Williams versus Schilder, and they're right together. Look at that. Schilder took another look. Schilder is... Wow. So Williams he took a slightly different line to Schilder on the exit there. And Schilder can see the endless expanse of road ahead of Williams. He sees exactly where he wants to be, where he feels he should be. But Oscar Williams holds fast. This is very, very exciting, Ruz.
Indeed, it's Sanford there just getting caught out by turn 2 as so many. I've already said with 1,000 horsepower and the weight with the rear of the car, it's so easy just to spin around there. And I think there might have been a little bit of a love tap from behind as well. He's going to come into the pits this lap. Williams, though, in the lead of this race. Schilder P2, P3 and Hammerlink P4. This now will be the order, I'm sure, to the end. They're still super, super tight together. And now it's all about who is able to manage the tyres the best over the course of the race. It's all about pushing where you need to push, reserving where you need to reserve. And whoever can extract the most grip and the most lifespan out of those tyres is going to be in the best position at the end of this race.
Sanford in the pits now. Schilder went very wide on the exit of turn 1. He was extremely wide, in fact, and he's now 0.8 of a second behind Williams, so that opportunity that he had is wasted. Tim Omler is right up with him. In fact, Omler is now closer to Schilder than Schilder is to Williams, but once again it's 3 for the lead, just as it was before the pit stops. We're riding on board with Andreas Schilder as he heads towards the end, and look at that, this is more kind of driver's eye level, a little over to the left there, shows what they'll be seeing as you fly through that almost blind final corner. You dip down over a bit of a crest, a bit of a dip rather. Oscar Williams, fastest lap of the race. I'm not surprised, it did appear to be a very quick one. Tim Omlu, personal best lap of the race as well. So once again, they're all pushing, they're all flying, but Andreas Schilder appears to be dropping back a little, and once again locks up. Then again, his first sector time, I believe, was probably quicker than Williams is there, and he has the DRS. Schilder once again closing. But yeah, 3 for the lead as it was before. Cochran and Younger also right together for P5 and P6. We're halfway through the race now. Halfway through the race already. My goodness, this is flying past. And it's Williams leading from Schilder, Omlu, Hammerlink, Cochran. Cochran fighting with Younger. Then Halligan, Southwood, Griffiths, Coate, Sanford, Mortiferum. Benoit is fighting with Pelkmans. Haven't mentioned Simon Benoit at all today. Then Bull. Oh, Bull has just been passed by Cyprian Stoyan for P15. Then Carlos Germanes and Dave Brave, the 2 remaining cars in this race. And Andreas Schilder goes fastest of anyone. He's almost half a second faster than Williams on that last lap. This is his opportunity, and they have traffic. Look at that, they have traffic, and it's Tim Omlu's teammate. So, well, he gets out of the way, doesn't hold them up as I expected he might, but yeah, that was almost a dramatic change in this race. But yeah, Schilder's last lap was so quick, despite the slight mistake in the first sector. Schilder catching and catching. But still the gap, 6 or 7 tenths of a second between each of the first 3 cars. Younger going for a move on Cochran, I think, and lost out. I think he was going for a move there down into the Schlossgold, according to the times. This is for P5, and we haven't really looked at this battle as much as we should have done yet today. We haven't had time. Pelkmans and Benoit also swapping places for P13. Oscar Williams, fastest lap of the race, so responds to Schilder's time. And it's the first race lap under 1 minute 05. That is insanely fast. Especially considering that is about what they were doing in qualifying. Goodness me. I mean, Williams, I think, did about a second faster than that. Maybe not even a second faster than that. So, just shows you how quickly he is going. Especially considering he's not even on the he's not even on the mediums, is he? He's on the harder compound tyre. So Williams, that would have been the fastest or the best lap that he's maybe ever done in one of these cars here. And Omlu just broke within half a second of Schilder as I spoke temporarily. Bit held up in the corners as he would be by the turbulent air of Schilder's car. The Red Bull Ring, definitely a circuit where you can overtake. You've got opportunities up into Remus, down into the Schlossgold. Sometimes even turn 1 if you're lucky, if you get a good exit to the final corner. But and personal best laps from both Schilder, Omlu, and Hammerlink now. Hammerlink as well. He's a little way behind this bunch, but he is still flying as well. Only 2 seconds back. Now that's. Well, he lost a lot more with his incident earlier on, so Hammerlink, if he does have any damage on that car, it's not holding him up by any way as much as it would be in reality. In reality, I think he would have been out on the spot. So, all 4 of the top 4 cars still really going for it. Cochran and Younger still fighting for P5 and P6 as well. And Younger is side by side with Cochran. This is for P5. To the outside. And makes the move. Oh no, there's contact. They both go around. They both touch. And Halligan slots through the middle. So manages to avoid both of them. Now, did you get a better view of that than I did, Ross?
Yes, I did. Just, I'm not quite sure. I think there was perhaps just a bit of a wobble from both of them. I think actually they both may have just slid off on their own account, and then actually just contact between them as they were mid-starting. You know, I've heard people say you can't stop the cock, except you can when you take him out. And although I'm not exactly saying that was Max's fault, I think that was very much a strong race against them. Both of them still not managing to continue, though, only dropping 1 position and is still neck and neck. Hammerlink does gain the position, so we'll just have to see what happens over the next few laps.
Here comes Schilder! Here comes Schilder for the lead! He set the fastest lap of the race and he's going for it! Look at that! Well, he's on the outside, he got a slight twitch mid-corner and dropped back, but look at that! He is so close to Oscar Williams, and that was a proper overtaking attempt there. He was really he thought he was going through. I could tell it by the body language of the car, but Schilder lost out just about, and Tim Omlu now within half a second of him as well. So the hunter may end up being the hunted if he's not careful. Omlu within half a second of him. Let's look at the lap times. What are they as they cross the start-finish line once again? A little way off for all of them. They would have been held up slightly by that incident. Only a lap ago, though, Schilder set the fastest lap of the race, so he's clearly got it in him. And I'm still amazed that they can set times that quickly on the hard compound of tyre, because that tyre just is not designed to be pushed that hard. Halligan also fastest his personal best lap of the race, as he's just gained P5 from the incident between Younger and Cochran. Schilder again close to Williams down into the Schlossgold, but not close enough. Sorry for interrupting you a lap ago, Russ.
Oh, it's fine. I understand. Obviously, very intense moves going on, but yeah, great stuff there from Schilder. Up to P2. Williams only 6 tenths away now. He's absolutely flying at the moment in the Griffin gaming car. And Schilder at the moment, actually, he doesn't look to be pushing that hard at the moment. Just watching his lines over the last few laps. He's not taking it as an aggressive a line as Schilder. Schilder seems to be really, really pushing at the moment. He really wants to get that gap down. Williams is taking it nice and relaxed, well, not slowly, obviously, but he's being very smooth, very gentle on those tyres. I think he's trying to save his tyres for the end, so if he does have to fight back, he's got the ability to do so. He'll have the grip to do so. Come the end of the race, there's a lot of chance that Schilder may not have any tyres left, so if he gets into the lead now, it's all fine and dandy until suddenly he runs out of grip.
Simon Benoit has just held off Cyprian Stoyan. No, he hasn't, because Stoyan... And he has! Never mind. So, a scrap going on for P14 and 15. Positions changing all the time. We won't look at that right now, just in case we miss anything in the top 3. Points here only go down to 10th place, remember. So those guys need to get a move on if they're going to score anything. But yeah, Schilder... it looks as if he has the pace to get past Williams, but every time he gets close, he either gets held up by the turbulent air, or he makes a mistake, or goes for a move and doesn't manage it, and then Tim Omler tries to come through and he has to defend from him. Whatever the case, there's a bit of a cycle where he gets close, he gets very close, and then he drops. And you often see that cycle in battles like this, but it's just going to take one little error from Williams, or one successful overtaking manoeuvre from Schilder, rather than the unsuccessful ones he's been pulling so far, and then he'll have it sorted. Now Benoit is in the pits. I didn't see if there was contact between him and Stoyan, but anyway, those two were fighting hard. It may just be that Benoit was overdue a pit stop, but anyway, he's now outside of the top 15. Not a great race from him so far, but anyway, I hope he's enjoying himself back there, fighting hard with his rivals. Williams, well actually, Schilder is now a second ahead of Omlu, so Omlu I think may have made a slight mistake, because that's the first time he's been out of DRS range for a long time, and he will now be potentially relying on Schilder and Williams holding each other up in order to get that DRS back again. So let's see what Schilder and Williams do. You see a little bit of traffic coming up just ahead on the road. So far today the traffic's been decent, despite it being a very short circuit, where traffic has a big part to play. Schilder's last lap, almost 0.3 of a second faster than Williams. Once again, he's within half a second of him. And the exit to Remus is going to be so important here. You see him going wide on the entry to try to set himself up well for the exit. I don't think he managed it because he had a little twitch, and I don't think he's going to be close enough to go for a move here. But you can see how much pressure he's putting on that Vermin racing car. Pressure is so important because when you're fighting... Oh, as Sanford, I believe, has just got up to P10, and Cope has been moving quite slowly there, so I don't know if there was any contact between the two of them or not. But anyway, that's a change for the last point-paying position. But whatever the case, yeah, pressure is so important in these cars because concentration. I mean, it goes so fast, your brain can barely keep up with what the car is doing. And if you have a car also squirming all over your mirrors, it's like, whoa, and Hammerlink's round. Hammerlink loses it again. So Hammerlink, who made an error earlier on in the race and bounced off the barriers, has just spun and been overtaken by a lapped car. So Hammerlink there making another mistake, and that could be his last opportunity of fighting with the leaders gone down the drain, I'm afraid, Ross.
Yep, another just a little mistake from Hammerlink again. We've seen it before in this race. Just too early, too greedy on the throttle. And that's unfortunate for him. I think that will beat his podium hopes over. Obviously, anything can happen. There might be a massive accident. We don't know. But as it stands, I think that's looking like a pretty safe P4. You know, it's 10 seconds back to Halligan, but he's got 8 seconds to make up over something like 15 laps on those tyres. It's going to be a big ask. But that leaves a three-way fight for the lead now. Sorry, Cote, who was fighting for 10th place, is out of the race, so that's a big shame for him. Also, Griffiths is in the pits as well, and just exiting it on soft tyres. But yeah, Cote, I'm afraid, appears to be a retirement, which is a shame for him. Cochran was passed by Southwood a lap ago, and now here's an update on the leaders. They were temporarily all out of DRS range, so William, Schilder and Omlu didn't have DRS at all there. Schilder now back in to the 1 second buffer behind Williams' car. We'll see if he does actually, or if he is able to open the rear wing on the exit of Remus. But I think he will be able to, just about. Yes, he does. There we go. But yeah, the gaps were
it feels weird to say this considering they were only a second, but the widest they have been for pretty much this entire race. Just shows you how hard they are still fighting. Now, the pit stops and Kurt's retirement puts Mixer Mortiferum up into the top 10. Haven't really mentioned Mortiferum yet in this race, but Mortiferum DNF'd from the last race, and this will be her first points of the season. I say her. I assume that. My apologies if I'm wrong. Their first points of the season. Not entirely sure about the name Mixer. Never really heard it before. But anyway, so Williams, Schilder, Omlu. 13 laps remaining, and those are going to absolutely fly past if the first part of the race is anything to go by. Schilder 0.6 of a second behind Williams, and will once again have the DRS. There we go. Opens the flap, and we'll get closer and closer, but we'll be frustrated as ever to find that Williams is still there as they head down into the Schloss Gold corner. Ideally, you need to be within maybe 0.2 of a second of your opponent heading out of turn 1, and then 0.4 of a second of your opponent heading out of turn 3, I'd estimate. If you're going to make a move at either of those points on the track, but that is of course depending on setup, depending on the run you get, etc., etc. But yeah, Schilder has not been able to get that close to his opponent at any. Well, he has been able to get that close to his opponent at some points, but hasn't been able to benefit from it. Schilder there was slightly quicker than Williams on that last lap. Omlu was quicker than both of them, but still is not quite in DRS range yet. And Schilder is going to be 0.6 of a second back as they... Oh, big twitch from Schilder. And he's going to be a second back now. So he does have the DRS because they'd already passed the activation zone, but now Omlu is going to be back in DRS range of him, Russ.
Yep, indeed. Obviously, being in DRS is never good. It gives the car behind a massive advantage. Just reducing the drag and just getting back to it's the slipstream here is not that effective in comparison to other tracks. The straights are quite short in comparison to somewhere like Spa, for example, but if you are close behind someone, for example coming out of T2, and you are able to get that DRS, it could be a massive advantage, and it's not what you really want. And to know that you're in DRS range of someone, it almost adds a little bit of paranoia to the back of your mind. Suddenly you're very aware that you're there, that they're there. Suddenly they can make a move on you. It's very interesting to see, and yeah, we'll just have to see what happens if they do end up in the DRS range.
Indeed. So I'm not sure any of them have DRS actually. So as we have 11 laps remaining, and Omlu's teammate there being lapped once again, but yeah, as they have just 11 laps remaining in this race, it seems to be dying down a little, but every time I say that, they manage to get back in again, so it's definitely not over yet, I'd say. Interesting to see David Bull back in the race as he pulls off the road and maybe about to retire as I say that. Yeah, I think he is. I was about to say it's surprising to see him back in the race since he was so he was in the pits for so long. But anyway, I believe he's out. Shame to see that. But anyway, that means we have 16 cars remaining in this race now. The top 10 of which are going to score points. We're currently looking at Dave Southwood. He's been catching Max Younger ever since he passed Alex Cochran. It's been a good race for him, and he can very much see the rear end of Younger's car ahead of him. He's actually closer to Younger than any of the leaders are to each other right now. Now, through onto the 38th lap, I think. We have just 10 laps remaining in this race. It's going to be close. Southwood will have the DRS on the exit of Remus this time around. Actually got pretty close to Younger. One thing I've noticed about that corner is that Schilder is really not comfortable through it. He tends to have a bit of a twitch every time, especially when he's trying to line up the car ahead of him. It's just not a corner that he goes well at. Williams is a lot faster through turn 3, the Rima's corner, but so is Omlu, I'd say. And that's the one corner where you don't want to be slower than your opponents, because that is where you need to be to line up a move. Colin McGriffiths, meanwhile, has passed Mix and Mortiferum. Teammates going at it. Mortiferum also on the blue walled super hard tyre. You rarely see that in action. Seen it twice today. But yeah. Dave Southwood through turn 1 and up the hill, and he is definitely close enough to put some real pressure on Maxi Younger this time around. P6 and P7. I think Younger may have slightly lesser wings than Southwood, because I thought that Southwood should be gaining much quicker than he did up into to turn 3, and actually drops back through turn 3 that time around. That's unexpected, Russ. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, these drivers all have different setups on the car.
Omlu's had an incident. Omlu is off. He's in the grass and avoids the wall, but Hammerlink's up to 3rd. So Hammerlink, I thought his chance of a podium was over, but Tim Omlu somehow has thrown it all away. He was 2 seconds behind Schilder, and all of a sudden he was off the road and dilly-dallying around in the grass. He was on the entrance of the pits, but I don't think he was trying to come into the pits, otherwise he would have committed to it. And I'm afraid Omlu now down into 4th position, and once again, actually not just like last race, because it was the 2 CRG cars that finished 2nd and 3rd, but anyway, we have Vermin Racing, both of them in the top 3. It's been a great day for them, and they are going to extend their championship lead if the result finishes as it is. Oh, Southwood went for it on Younger there and had a little twitch. Now he has the DRS again. Let's see if he goes for it up into the Slush Gold. Catching, he's very close, he's on the outside line. There's a good camera angle as well, maybe a little touch of wheels, and has to back out of it. But yeah, Russ, what do you make of Omlu's spin there?
Yeah, Tim Omlu obviously was on pole early, and that's just a disaster. It's so easy to make a mistake when you're pushing on the limit, and that's unfortunate for him. Still in P4, so, not the end of the world, but, when there's a podium on the cars and you were sitting in 1st place for a lot of the race early on, it can be quite devastating. It just goes to show what a small mistake can do when you're driving in, such an aggressive car, such a car that requires such dedication, commitment and skill. It's so easy just to lose it, and that's what we see from Tim Omlu there. Very unfortunate for him, but it's still P4. It's not bad at all when he's only 3 seconds back from Hamlin, because there's another big wobble there coming out of turn 2. So there is still a podium on the cars. There's 7 laps to go. If he's got the tyres to push, I think he can definitely at least catch up to Hamlin. We'll just have to see what he can do over the rest of this race.
Cochran now getting involved in the Younger Southwood battle. Look at this, he's got DRS. Well, doesn't open it just yet, but he will have DRS next time they go through an activation zone. Southwood to the outside. Oh, they do touch wheels. That was a little clumsy. But anyway, locks up a tyre and they get away with it. Younger still in P6. And Southwood coming back on the exit. Oh, more banging of wheels. Goodness me, these guys need to calm down. Otherwise, they're both going to end up in the fence. Younger, Southwood, and now Cochran is closer to both of them. This is a little crazy for P6, 7, and 8. And Mortiferum and Griffiths. So, Griffiths off the road. So Griffiths, who was in 10th place, appears to be losing her point. The point that she was going to get in the late stages of this race. That's a big shame, and I think she might be out because she's not recovering. And look at that, Southwood gets Younger into turn 1. Southwood makes it stick, and that's a rare place to pull an overtake. Younger coming back on the exit, goes to the outside line. Oh my goodness, they bang wheels once, twice, and Southwood holds it, locks a wheel. There's a car on the outside there, yellow's waving. I don't know how strict the stewards are with the yellow flag rules, but that was definitely overtaking under yellow. Younger is 6th, Southwood 7th, Southwood back on the outside line. Are they going to touch wheels like they did a lap ago? Yes, they are, and around, and off they both go. And backwards goes Younger. Southwood is 7th, Cochran up to 6th. Goodness me. And at the rate they were going, it was pretty clear they were going to come together like that at some point. And I'm afraid it's Younger that's come off worse, but I think that was his fault there. He seemed to lose control unprovoked. But yeah, what do you make of that?
Yep, just again another incident down into turn 3. Just 2 cars going side by side. We've seen that earlier before between, I believe it was Hammerlick and Schilder we saw made contact And we've seen it again here, just one car perhaps making a mistake and nudging into the car, or maybe even both cars losing it. It's so easy to do, to misjudge or braking in the heat of a battle. We've seen it again there. Southwood and Cochran both involved, and it's a big shame for both of them again. But, you know, that is racing, and, you know, they haven't lost that much time. Almost half spin there for Southwood as well as he comes through turn 2. So yeah, big shame for them, but they've managed to get out of it seemingly with minimal damage. So that's good at least.
Indeed. So, goodness me. Well, we're into the final few laps of the race now, and it appears to be calming down for a bit. Just realised I haven't been... Oh, goodness, sorry about that. Yeah, sorry, I just realised I haven't been checking the Twitch chat, so apologies about that. Hello to everyone watching on Twitch. We're live on both Twitch and YouTube, so you can watch on your favourite streaming platform out of the two of them. Agnes Rositas who I believe was racing in the Challenger split just now, has left a comment saying, "Nice Tim," I believe referring to Tim Omlu's pole position. So hello to Agnes as well. Hope you're still watching and I hope you're enjoying it. But anyway, the race is now drawing to a close. Williams leading by 5 seconds over Schilder, so Williams does appear to have the advantage now. We're seeing him catching up to Mixer Mortiferum to put a lap on the light blue car. Mixer Mortiferum racing for the Abstineo Force Polonia team. And Williams dominating the race so far. Well, I say dominating. It looks that way, considering he's got a 5-second lead, but he, I mean, really doesn't tell the full story of this race, does he? Or does it, rather? Does put a lap on Mortiferum. Mortiferum on for a point here. Points do go down to 10th place. Mortiferum's teammate Griffiths is now out of the race. Griffiths was running in that 10th position, so I'm afraid lost out on a point. Still, this will be Abstineo's first point of the season, considering both of them, Crucifire, or Griffiths rather, was P12 last time out, and is now a DNF. And Mortiferum, of course, was a DNF last time out, and she, or they, apologies, still not entirely sure about that. I'll have to ask them after this race. Apologies for the assumption, but anyway, Mortiferum is running P10 and on course for that point. Just 2 laps to go now for Oscar Williams, continuing to extend his lead. Schilder second, Hamelink third, then Omlu and Halligan. Schilder still 10 seconds ahead, almost 11 seconds ahead of Hamelink, showing how much time Hamelink lost with his couple of spins earlier on. He's done well to beat Omlu, despite the fact Omlu, I believe, had one fewer spin than Hamelink did. Russ, I know it's a little early, but who do you think your driver of the day would be from this one?
Ooh, well, I mean, those top 4 have been very, very quick all around. I mean, Williams obviously currently on track to win. Touchwood, not commentators cursing that. But he's the driver currently with the stranglehold on the race. Looking down the field. Oh, sorry, something happened?
Yeah, sorry, no, I was just about to say we had a car stop right by the side of the track and I was worried that it was going to be a bit of a hazard. But anyway, Carlos Gimenez now retired from the race. Sorry for interrupting you there.
Oh, it's fine, but yeah, so those top 4 have all been very quick, just looking down the grid as well. Jung has been strong. I've been impressed with Toby Sanford in P9 in his debut. He was running in P1 earlier with his interesting pit stop strategy, but despite his spin, he's still in the points, so good from him. Mortiferum as well in P10's been pretty solid as well, but to be honest, you know, looking through, I think Andreas Schilder's going to get it for me. You know, he's not been the strongest out of those top 4 at any one point, but he's been consistently there. He's been consistently, you know, quiet. He's not been involved in any of the incidents. He's stayed out the wall. He's stayed in track. He's kept his line, and he's been good to watch him today. And I think he's had a great performance. He's in P2. It's a pretty solid podium for him, and I think it's a good result for Schilder today.
We're watching Southwood now attacking Cochran, coming back at him after his incident a few laps ago. Williams starts the final lap of the race and Southwood makes P6 stick. That's a good move there from Dave Southwood, not bad at all, and Cochran had nothing to say about that. I would actually agree with you. I'm going to say my driver of the day is Schilder. Williams was a little quicker, but stereotypically the Vermin Racing team does tend to have the best setups on the grid, and Schilder's car appeared to not quite be as much to his liking, as you saw him twitching about at some points, but he held it well and he didn't give up, and his racecraft was very, very good. So I've got to say, Williams is close. Like, Williams has driven pretty amazingly, but Andreas Schilder, I think, gets it for me as well. So that's a unanimous decision. But anyway, Oscar Williams now has just 2 corners to go left in this race. It's been a very good one. He's had to hold off Schilder, Hammerlink, Omloop and other cars as well at the start, but he's won it. Look at that. Oscar Williams wins the race and will probably, I'm not sure if he quite leads the championship, but he's right up there. And Andreas Schilder now second, and after the DNF last time out, that's a redemption for him. Max Hamlin claims 3rd place and a double podium for Vermin Racing Team. They've got to be the team of the day if there is such a thing. Tim Omlu is 4th. Unlucky for him. David Halligan at P5. Now who's going to be P6? Southwood and Cochran still pretty close. It's going to just about be Southwood after overtaking Cochran on the penultimate lap of the race. Southwood there, Cochran, and then 8th and 9th are going to be Younger and Sanford, and they're the 2 final cars on the lead lap of the race. Mortiferum claimed the final point in 10th position, a lap down, and then also finishing but not scoring points were Peltman, Stoyan, Benoit and Brave. Only 14 finishes out of the 23 starters. It was a bit of a race of attrition, and the DNFs were Carlos Germanis, Columba Griffiths, David Ball, Joseph Coate, Christoph Berzer, Christoph Turner, bad day to be called Christoph, and then 3 other cars which I can't quite see. Actually, let's go back to the Ermas Rees was one of them, as well as Jordi Lois and Paul Magza. So that is the end of the race. Oscar Williams wins it. Both of the Vermin cars in the top 3, and Andreas Schilder was right up there as well. Now let's see if we get any interviews today. We might well, if drivers want to pop in and tell us how their race went. Ross, let's do a kind of like back and forth thing where I'll ask the first person, or I'll interview the first person, and then you do the next. But yeah, what did you think of that race, and what was your favourite part of it?
Well, it was super tight across the front for the entire way through. And the qualifying actually I think was a highlight for me, just how close it was. It was 5 tenths was covering the first 12 drivers. It was phenomenally close. I think that's to actually take the best part of the race. I know it doesn't sound very good for the race, but it was a strong race, believe me. Yeah, super close all over the field. Plenty of drama out there today, and just overall great race to watch. Good showing for the Red Bull Ring as well. It's not exactly a track that's world renowned for its overtaking. It's almost a bit too small for Formula cars nowadays. But yeah, great race. We saw some good action out there. Some good surprising results for a few drivers as well. We had a few disappointments out there as well, as always. But I'm sure that's just more incentive for people to do better next time out.
Oscar Williams wins it by 6.559 seconds over Andreas Schilder in the end. That was the winning margin, and Schilder will be slightly disappointed he couldn't keep with Williams in the late stages, but oh well, he gets driver of the day from both me and McIntyre. Started from 4th on the grid as well, so made up 2 positions overall. And but yeah, in the end, Oscar Williams, who I think actually started even lower on the grid. Let me go back to see where he began this whole thing. But yeah, what an exciting race we've just witnessed. I loved the fight. In fact, Williams started from 6th. I told you it would be the top 6 fighting for the win. Goodness me, do you remember me saying that, Russ? I said it would be the top 6 specifically.
I do remember that.
And yeah, it was Oscar Williams who came through to win. Great result for him. But anyway, let's first speak to our unanimously voted driver of the day, Andreas Schilder. Hello, Andreas.
Hello.
So, Andreas, P2 after starting P4. How do you feel about that? And do you reckon you could have done anything more to win?
I'm very happy, to be honest. I mean, I've always struggled at this track, and it's by far my least favorite. And by looking at practice times, I was quite a bit off. And then, yeah, qualifying was interesting. So there were some guys in front who we didn't expect to be in front, but yeah, spice things up a little.
Is this redemption for Bahrain?
Certainly. I mean, yeah, I was determined to get some points on the board, and then I was kind of aiming for a top 5, but then to get second is, I'm very happy about that. Yeah, and I'm sure the next race I'll be much better than here. At least I hope so.
And what are your aspirations for the championship as a whole? Do you think you can win it?
Yeah, I mean, it's early to tell, but there's quite a bit of competition from some other guys who weren't here last year. Yeah, but yeah, I'm confident that I can make it. But yeah, Bahrain was a little bit of a one-off, but yeah, we'll continue to get forward, and looking forward to get on track on the Nürburgring again.
Thank you very much, Andreas, and good luck for the future races.
Much, and bye-bye.
See ya. So that was second placed finisher and last year's, or reigning champion rather, Andreas Schilder. I'm now going to hand over to Ross, who has our race winner, Oscar Williams.
Yep, thank you very much, Caitlin. Hello, welcome to the commentary booth, Oscar. First of all, great result out there today. Fantastic drive, you did really well. Just run us through what's going through your mind at the moment. What can you take from that race?
What a race that was, man. I am sweating my some things off. What can I say? Tim Omlu, dude. That kid's 13, that pole position. Mega impressive. And he was doing super well in the race, which massive shame for him. For me, though, took advantage of that and then had a massive battle with Andreas for like 20 laps. That DRS thing, you have to get out of the second. And if the guy is within a second behind you, you can't get away. And that was just super intense. And I think he made a mistake, which was unfortunate. But yeah, good race. Fun race.
It was definitely fun to watch and commentate over. You mentioned the DRS was really struggle. Do you think that was one of the biggest commanding factors out there today? Obviously, over the first half of the race, especially the top 4, you guys were all basically glued together. And do you think the DRS was part of the reason of why that happened?
Well, yeah, I sort of felt sorry for Tim because when Andreas is behind him and then Max is behind him and then I'm behind Max, he's got 3 drivers. He can't get away, even if I think you have to be like 7/10 quicker over the lap to even stand a chance of getting away from the DRS. And the fact that there's 2 zones made it pretty difficult. But yeah, I mean, I'm just super proud of Tim because that was awesome driving from him. And I think if he had a little bit more experience, he would have won the race.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. Tim's a great driver, and he's showing very well that you don't have to be experienced to do strong results.
Yeah, but unlucky to Andreas as well. I think we had a bit of contact into turn 3. I thought I'd covered him off, but he went down the inside anyway. But I'll have to have a look at it. I'm not sure what happened there. But good race overall.
Yep, so just kind of now looking forward into the future, now you've got this win behind you, do you think that you can now carry this momentum on into the next race and into the future?
Not sure, dude. Not sure. Max, my teammate, is super quick. Ermis is super quick. I don't know where he was today. Magzai is super quick, and Andreas, I don't know. He's going to be tough to beat for sure.
Thank you very much, Oscar, for coming in for the interview, and again, congratulations for a great result out there today. Thank you.
Cheers, dude. Thanks for commentating.
No worries.
I would like to.
That was Oscar Williams.
Sorry, yeah, that was, and congrats to Oscar for his victory. I would like to quickly say we may have voted Oscar Williams the driver. Oh, sorry, we may have voted Andreas Schilder the driver of the day, but the Twitch chat appears to very much disagree with us. They are all shouting Williams, and that's okay because there is actually a vote that comes out over the next week, where the official driver of the day is voted upon. Last time out, I voted. I believe that I said it was Max Hammerlink who was my driver of the day, and then it was actually Alex Cochran who won it after finishing 6th from having an accident in the early stages. So I think Oscar could still definitely win the official driver of the day vote. And if you want to vote on that, and you're in the Formula Trout Discord, then you very much can disagree with me. You're free to do so. But anyway, congratulations to Oscar Williams, Andreas Schilder, and Max Hammerlink for finishing on the podium today, and congrats to Vermin Racing Team for their double podium and extension of the team's standing lead. Thank you very much to Ross McIntyre. There we go. Remembered your surname for joining us today. And we will see you in 2 weeks' time for round 3.
Caitlin, before you go, we've got another interview. Toby Sanford's in the waiting channel.
Yes, it would be unfair not to. It would be unfair not to. Toby, hello. Toby, you hear us?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Sorry.
Toby Sanford. So we saw you fighting hard with some of your closest opponents towards the middle part of the race. You kind of dropped back towards the end. Do you feel okay about that, or could you have done better?
Well, I think into turn 2, I just I was told to hold up whoever was behind me. I think it was just to give David a hand, just catching up a little bit towards the end, and kind of just went too hard into turn 2, locked the rears up a little, snagged the rears, and then fortunately that was it. I could have easily done better than I did today, but I'm overall happier with how today went compared to Bahrain, for example.
Well, you led a lap anyway. I remember that. How are you feeling about the future races in the championship? I'm actually not sure what the next circuit is, but how are you feeling about it?
Kind of excited, I suppose, because I'm not really sure. I haven't really fell into place, I guess, pace-wise yet. I'm still ironing out some kinks here and there, mainly in like one lap pace and confidence and so on under braking. So I'm not really sure where I am at the moment pace-wise, but I suppose I'll find out in the future, and then from then on it will be a lot more exciting battles, I suppose. I hope.
Fair enough. Well, thanks. Oh, sorry, Russ.
No, sorry, just don't mind me sliding in with a question. Obviously, Toby, you've had one race in the Challenger split and then found yourself immediately in the Master split. How's the jump been up to the top level? Obviously it's had one race apiece in each. Has it been as big as a jump as you expected, or have you found the transition perhaps a little bit easier?
If anything, I found the transition easier because for some reason it doesn't feel obviously like I need to perform. I can't just lay back, but it feels like I don't need to. I don't know, put on a show or something in the Challenger split. I don't mean any discredit to the guys in the Challenger split, of course. They're all ultra talented in their own way, but just I don't feel like I need to push as hard necessarily in the the strength of field is like a lot. I don't know. I'm trying to come up with I'm trying to think about what I'm trying to say.
It's really... okay. I get what you mean. But yeah, thanks for speaking to us, Toby, and good luck in the future races.
No problem. I'm sorry for the terrible interview. It's my first one.
That's okay.
It's fine.
I hope no one ever looks back at my first interview, but anyway. So that was 9th place finisher Toby Sanford. Thank you for speaking to us, and thank you everyone for watching this stream. As I said, this is the end for today, but in 2 weeks' time we will be back with another race. I cannot remember what track it's at, but we shall see. Thank you all, and see you later.